Hello, and welcome to a tutorial on how to brighten very dark or very underexposed images using Topaz Labs Topaz Denoise. Now, the image that you're looking at on the screen is actually a very severely underexposed photo that was taken using this Casio camera. It's actually the EX-Z850, as you can see over here. This is the information that the camera produces every time a photo is taken. The exposure time is 1/400th of a second, and that's actually the reason why the image is as dark as you can see over here, is because the exposure was very, very fast. And it also says over here that obviously the flash did not fire, hence the reason why we have such a severely underexposed JPEG photo. Now, as you know, because it is JPEG, it's compressed, which means that we have the added problem of compression that we have to deal with. So this is the before image, and believe it or not, yes, this actually is the after. Now, I know that most people out there are saying to themselves, that's absolutely impossible. There's no way you're going to go from an image that's that dark, right, like this, to an image that's fully exposed that has all these details. But that's exactly what I'm about to show you right now. So let's get started and see some of this more subtleties about how you do this. I'm going to be using Photoshop actually for this tutorial, but as most of you know, Topaz does work with ArfenView. It works with a variety of different paint programs. And this is my original photo. Let me go ahead and first show you that, as you can read from the top here, that it is a JPEG. And the next piece of information I want to show you is the resolution. This is the resolution right here of this picture when I originally took it. So usually when I have images that are this severely underexposed, the first thing that I do is in Photoshop, I change it from 8-bit per channel to 16 bits per channel. So that gives me a little extra room to play with as far as the number of bits are concerned. Now, the next thing that I need is I want to be able to combine the pixels together. I want to be able to kind of merge the values of pixels together. And the way that I do that is under Image. I'm going to pull down to Image Size, and simply under Percent, I'll type in 50%, and I'm also going to make sure that the method of interpolation is just the default bicubic, So once that happens, you notice that the image now becomes half the resolution that it was before, but as you can see, it's still really, really dark. Now, I know that one of the problems of dark images is that they're noisy, and that's why we're going to now pull down the Topaz Labs Topaz Denoise. Now, in the last 12 years of my experience in image processing, I've never come across something that's as powerful as Topaz Denoise. Now, what's happening right now is Topaz is analyzing the image, it finds a noise signature, and this is the result that it comes up with. Now, for this example, I have the speed setting at very, very slow. You'll notice that in Topaz Denoise, there's actually 4 different speed settings. The best setting, of course, is going to produce the best results, but it is a little bit slow, So once I have the advanced settings set to very slow, add grain by default is at 0.05. I'm going to bring that down to 0. And also, finally, the last thing I'm going to do is take the actual noise suppression variable, and I'm going to bring it down just a tad, like maybe about 2.95, because I want to have it just leave just a little bit of noise behind in the image. And later on, you're going to see how having this little extra bit of noise actually is helpful. So right now on the screen, you really can't see much, because the image is, once again, very, very, very dark. So we're going to hit the OK button and let the computer crunch some numbers. Okay, so now that the image is done and the noise has been removed, at this point you want to now pull down the filter, Topaz Labs, Topaz Adjust. And by default, actually, Topaz Adjust is going to come up with something that's going to be, once again, your really dark pizza picture. And usually I like to work with it at 100%. And where it says adaptive exposure, this is where you're going to crank this up to, like I'm going to do it like about 0.97. And this is exactly where you, for the first time, get a chance to see that, yes, we actually have a picture of a pizza, So that's the picture that we're dealing with right now. A couple other things that I like to throw into here is under the Details tab, I'm going to bring the threshold and the radius all the way down because I now want to be able to amplify some of these smaller fine details that are over here. Take strength and bring that up a bit. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. Now you're beginning to see how some of these smaller details that are on a tablecloth start becoming more and more visible. Also, when you look at like the little shrimp that's here in the middle, again, there's more and more details that we're kind of squeezing out of the shrimp. Finally, as I look at the image one-to-one on the screen, I'm concerned a little bit just with the amount of yellow that's around here on a crust of the image. So we're going to use a little bit of adaptive saturation. As I bring that up, okay, you're going to notice what's going to happen is some of the yellowness that was around the edges of the pizza starts being diminished quite a bit. And finally, as I'm looking at some of the darker regions in this image, I notice that's a little too dark. So under exposure, I'm going to give the shadows just a little bit of an extra boost. And that's going to help me just in a general kind of way brighten up the image, just this one extra tad. Let's finish it up by even throwing in a little bit of sharpness as well. So once I've put a few of these variables together, I like what I see on the screen. So let's go ahead and hit the OK button. And the computer will crunch the numbers very quickly and give us our final result of this pizza image right there. Now, right now, the resolution of this is a little high. I would like to actually show it to you fitting on the screen. So the last thing that I do is take the image and go under image size. I'm going to bring it down to just 1024 by 768 because that's going to be my final resolution anyway. And please notice that at this step, I will actually choose bicubic sharper because I do want to have some of the sharper details come into it as we're sizing it down. So now we choose OK. The image gets resized down, and here is our final image. Now this came out a little bit brighter than what I had anticipated, but that's actually a good thing. It gives you a chance to see, exactly what I go through to be able to take these really, really dark images and to convert them into something that's completely visible. So at this point, of course, you can change it from the 16 bits per channel back down to 8 bits per channel, and now you're welcome to save the image out to whatever file format you like and into whatever folder you like. So that was a short tutorial on describing how to take even the most minimal amount of information in an image and to squeeze as much information as you can from it. Now, just for the sake of completeness, what I like to show you here is a histogram of this image. Okay, here's the histogram. I'm going to go ahead and peel it off of the controls here in Photoshop, mainly because I want to be able to expand it out. Look at an expanded view. Let's actually look at the RGB channel and refresh it. So if you look at this histogram, you'll notice that it's pretty complete. That means that it's filled with information. Every level of information is really there. Now, if I was to compare this to the original image that I started out with, okay, let's take this right now and revert it back to what we had before. Okay, you'll notice over here that the histogram is all pushed onto the left-hand side, which basically it means that since the image is very dark and it's only 8 bits per channel, there's not a lot of information there. If you really wanted to count how many levels of information you have, the only thing you have to do is come under Adjustment and choose Equalize. Now, the moment that you do that, now you get a chance to see actually how many levels of data that we have. And you can actually, there's so few levels of digital information, you could actually count it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it looks like maybe 15 or 16 levels of data that we started out with. So please notice that we took those 15 or 16 levels of data, and what we created from it was our final image that ended up looking like that. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for some other exciting tutorials and demos coming from Topaz Labs. Thank you very much.